All right, guys, welcome in. Oh, are we froze? You can hear me. I feel like I'm froze, man. Triple E, they got me on this. Can you talk to me, my man? That video looks froze to me, my still shot. But I'm talking as if I'm on the air. It is unpaved. Everything feels frozen. Anybody talking to me? You guys there? My video froze. I'm here. So we're getting only a few seconds of technology issues. Welcome in, guys. Sean Salisbury here. It is unpaved, along with JB and Triple E. Bengals got three players, and three players make about 45% of their salary cap. I don't know why it keeps freezing, but it's freezing. Somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me because, again, I don't see anything. You guys got me? Well. Okay, they say got me. I'm talking to myself. I only got my screen. You're going to have to bring somebody else in. I'm going to get off this chat, and you guys I'll have to come on back.
You got me, Sean? Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, I see you. I see you and hear you.
So did you the whole time you could hear me?
Yep.
Well, whatever's happening on my end, everything's freezing, and my still shot, and there's nothing going. But it is unpaved. The Cincinnati Bengals have three dudes making 45% of their salary cap, and not a one of them's on defense. Aaron Rodgers is like a 50-50 bar. He wants to play for the Vikings, apparently, or possibly retire. We'll get into that. Number one seeds have been set. Duke, Houston, Florida, and Auburn, two of the SEC. SEC's got 47 teams in March Madness, just 47 teams in March Madness. Derek Stingley Jr. signs the biggest contract in the history of the game. Well, it lasted. He was like the highest paid non-football player on the planet, making $30 million a year as a corner. And boy, that used to about 5 years ago. That was quarterback money, JB. And then, but deservedly so. 89 of the 90 million. Now, I don't understand why they just didn't guarantee all of it. 89 of the 90. I don't know if there's something there or they had to, but it's guaranteed. And then if we can today, if not, that's a great thing about a 5-day-a-week show every single day. This is our new time at 1 Eastern. Steve Alford had some interesting things, Nevada's head basketball coach, about NIL, transfer portal, and money. And I think he is 100% spot on. And JB, I don't think we'll get to it today, but I saw how you were really celebrating the pregnancy of the guy who showed his pregnancy test on social media. And I thought I know how excited you were for him and celebrating him. So there you go. Congratulations.
I dove into it on my show, Sean. I dove into that one quite literally on my show. So,
did you? Well, that's okay. Just to mention, but let's start here with the Cincinnati Bengals, JB. Oh, there you go. How could I, first of all, this layout here? Are you seeing just you and I the big two?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure because this is.
Don't worry about that. It's all new to Sean. Hey, Sean, trust me. We had Pat Kennedy, the legendary Florida State DePaul.
Oh yeah, I love Pat. Yeah.
We had him on today, Sean, and he was struggling with technology too. So
it's not even struggle. All I did was I haven't done anything. I'm just letting you guys. But it's just a different look than we're used to having.
I know.
Hey,
Sean, you got your Tricera, your Flash Funding, your Premier Gold now on the header. You got tickers going. Fucking ESPN, Sean.
We got blues in the background. And we got quarterbacks with football. We got it all here. It's just the big and our screen's even bigger. I see all. It's just me and you, big brother. So it's great to be on. Let's start here with the Cincinnati Bengals, man. With the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase, and it seems like everybody, if you went to LSU, you get paid. Jefferson got his, Chase got his, Stingley got his, Burrows got his. Hell, go to LSU. You may be getting paid while you're there, but you're really getting paid. Think about this now. Burrows $55 million AAV. Chase signed a new deal. It's $161 million with $112 million guaranteed, which makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the sport. T. Higgins, $28.75 million, although he's not an LSU guy. He got 4 and for 115, and the first 2 years are guaranteed. So between Higgins and Chase and Burrow, they make up about 44.5 or almost 50% of the Cincinnati Bengals salary cap. Now, I love it, JB. I do. I love the fact that Joe Burrow goes and says, give me one, give me two. And I know this, that if you got a great number one, a lot of times that's because you got a quarterback, but also a number two that can play. And these cats can flat ass play. But the problem is, and with Cincinnati, who's always been known, JB, when you were watching football, when I was playing it and broadcasting it when I was on television, they've always been known as cheap. They skimped on the scouting department. They've got better, and maybe that's Zach Taylor. And I think it started with Marvin Lewis upgrading it and getting them to the playoffs. Well, now their offense, they can score from the parking lot, and they can buy, well, let's see, those contracts combined can damn near get you about, well, that'd be about $500 million overall money or so. You could probably get a pretty good investment in owning part of a team, which some of these guys bought it for back in the day. So with this, JB, all this is fine and dandy. But who are they going to stop? I love that they're committed to it. It's damn near half the, what's the cap? It's the cap is 125 mil for 2025, I think. They are at almost 45% of it. So where do you go from here? And how do you make sure this defense, are you going to try to skimp by on defense? I love what they're doing. This is a phenomenal deal, and I have no problem getting in somebody's wallet, meaning staying out of their wallet, getting in their wallet to give them a thumbs up on what Cincinnati's done here. But damn, what are we going to do on defense if you're the Cincinnati Bengals having to deal with in that division in a very tough and gauntlet of AFC quarterbacks that are off the charts?
Yeah, you're letting the sack leader shop, let's just say the least, to shop.
Which to me is a slap in the face, JB.
Yeah,
it is.
Slap in the face, man. 30 years old, I get it, but listen, man, Bosa's 30 as well, production-wise. Trey Hendrickson is at the top when it comes to production, and he can play the run and the pass, Sean. This is a defense that's already riddled with holes throughout the roster, and I just don't see – I said on my show, Sean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals missed the playoffs again, and they're getting beat 52-50. And that's just what it is. I mean, I love Burrow. You know me. I think he's top 5, no doubt about it. And the wideouts are the best tandem possibly out there with Nakua and Devontae Adams. You got Justin Jefferson and Addison. You got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in Philly. You got some great tandems and some duos. Now you got Cooper Kupp up there with the young kid Najigma in Seattle. But listen, Sean, if you can't stop a soul, you can be as good as you want. And what is the problem with Cincinnati? Slow starts.
Oh, they'll come out in September and piss down their leg.
How are you going to have a slow start with no defense, though? How are you going to have a slow start traditionally next year with no defense? You can argue you're wasting Burrow's prime years and his MVP type of years, the numbers he's putting up with a lack of defense. And to be honest, they were this close to a Super Bowl, Sean. That might be the closest time he ever gets.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy, JB? I believe, and I've mentioned this before, and I discuss this on my local show a lot because I'm and we'll get to the number one seeds and how you defend people, and I've mentioned Kelvin Sampson. But defense travels anywhere. Pitching and defense in baseball will get you close. Then you got to have superstars make plays. Defense in college hoops or in the NBA will get you to another level. Then you got to have your big stars knock down shots. And then it comes to football. Listen, all the Patrick Mahomes teams lost 2 Super Bowls. Why? They couldn't protect the quarterback, and which is part of me, the physicality that goes with it. Same thing here. You can score all you want. The Cincinnati Bengals are the NFL's version of my USC Trojans. When Caleb Williams won the Heisman Trophy, score 40, Tulane scores 44 or whatever it was. You score 44, they score 48. You hang 35 on a good team, and they could score on anybody. Hell, they started scoring in pregame warmup. The problem is when you can't get stops, you can't tackle, you can't play in space, and you're allowing your best player on defense to shop. And I love that Burrow's going to bat for Gesicki and for the 2 receivers and for Trey. And maybe they bring him back. But for me, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're close, man. But the problem is you can't get where you want to go, and that's playing in February. Screw January. I mean, getting to January is fine and dandy, but I think the Bengals, now they've had a hint of that, taste of that Super Bowl. And what happened in that game? The physicality and the defense of Aaron Donald and Floyd, the way they played in that game was the difference in the Super Bowl. And this year's Super Bowl, who's the best defense in the game, JB? It was the Philadelphia Eagles taking care of their business. Two great defensive coordinators.
Hey,
So
Sean, not to deviate, but let me ask you something about that, because you mentioned the USC and them are the common denominator. The common denominator is the head coach being an offensive-minded play caller on top of it. So you got Zach and Cincy, and you got Lincoln and SC, offensive gurus. Let's say that. How much of an impact being the head coach play caller dives into this lack of defense, how you call the offense, Sean? Only you and I probably understand what I'm saying here, but
I know exactly what you're saying.
If you're against Michigan, USC this year was up, and instead of being 20 seconds on the clock, there was 52 because they chose to fucking throw it on third down instead of run it and punt it. Offensive play callers, sometimes as head coaches, will get your ass beat as an organizational leader. And I think that's the problem.
There's no doubt. And who's done it great is Kansas City. And he play caller and head coach. But he gets out of Spagnola's way, and you do what you do. We're going to go try to score 40, but you don't let him score any. But you do take on the personality of that, JB. If you're a low-scoring, defensive-oriented team, guess what happens?
Yep.
In a game, as the game goes along, you and I both know, is that your play caller on offense will tend to be a little more overly protective and not put his foot on somebody's throat because, hey, we can win 17-13 until you run into a team that scores more than 17. It's the other way as well. When you got to, in this situation, it's like finesse and physical on a practice field, JB. If you're in a 2-point stance and all you're doing is protecting the quarterback and you don't run the ball efficiently and you just drop back and throw it, you're not good enough, most teams, to turn it on and off like a light switch and say, we're going to go put our hand there and knock the shit out of somebody on Sunday. It just, there's very few that can do it. So in this year, you're 100% correct that, okay, we're going to score. So if you're the defensive guy, you're like, okay, just as long as we hold them to 35, even though pride doesn't want that to happen, but it's ingrained in your DNA. And you do take on the person. I love the ones who are able to compartmentalize and separate and say, I need the best defense in the league and I need the best offense. Do you think at any point in time in that game, Nick Sirianni went to his defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, and said, you know what, cut it loose and, you start blitzing. Fangio would have gave him the middle finger and said, go fuck yourself. We're going to do what we do. And I like that. I don't need yes men that do that. But, yeah, there's no question. But somehow with Zach Taylor and the way they're doing it, I don't know if his hands are tied on this one, JB, because there's no way a good head coach in this league goes to the front office and says, just give me offense. I don't give two shits about the defense. There's no way. So it's the combination. Will the front office, while it looks pretty to pay all these guys, and they deserve it offensively, but then it gets down, okay, the ownership said, here's what we're doing. Then you get to the general manager who's got approval from the owner. Now you're Zach Taylor and the scouting department, and the general manager saying, okay, what's next? So you're telling me that the rest of your money or your focus is now from here on out going to be defense. I know I can score, but they've had the biggest problem the last 2 years is that can you get off the field? That's why the defense coordinator got fired. Can't get off the field. And 3 years ago, their Super Bowl year, he was the king. Everybody wanted a shot at loose. So now here they are, and they're in a division and in a conference that I can roll through the gauntlet of AFC quarterbacks that if you're not stout on defense, you'll look pretty good in there. It'll be a lot of makeup on you, and you know what? You can put cologne on some shit, and it'll look great doing it. But guess what? In the fourth quarter or in September, and JB, in one of those games in September, one more win in September, and guess who nobody wants to deal with in the postseason last year? The Cincinnati Bengals. But slow start, defense can't get off the field. How many times did Burrow throw them into it, and then they found a way not to be able to close it out? So as
Sean,
much as I want to drop back and throw it a million times, JB. You and I love it. I want to run it. I want to score. I want to score. But there's also the part of me that says you want to keep your job and get extensions. You sure shit better play some defense. And the Bengals have got to do something. I'm not raining on their big celebration of all these guys getting paid. I'm all for it. But damn, you're not winning a Super Bowl. No matter. I don't care if Joe Burrow. Look at that. What they did at LSU. Score. But they still got some stops on defense too. Even when you had to play in a high-scoring game and you had to deal with Trevor Lawrence and Clemson, they still got stops. And
Sean, is it a must? Is it a must now to have these these big two wideouts in the league? Is this like the NBA chasing the big three to play with? Like, is it a must? Because you and I didn't have to have the best two, did we? Didn't we have the best roster? Like, I get it. Jamar
best
Chase,
offensive line, a great receiver, and 2 or 3 other guys as wide receivers.
Like, do we need fucking all this money spent on two wideouts that can go down and a hamstring or something and then we're fucked?
Yeah, JB, I talked to a buddy of mine at PFF a couple of years ago, and I was talking about we started to see the salaries and the focus on wide receiver play because of the 3 wides and playing 4 wides and empty in the backfield. That when you had more receivers than DBs, you could empty it. That it became like if you had 4 good ones or 2 really good ones and 2 solid ones, it was a mismatch for you because rarely does a team have 4 dudes that can cover, right? They just don't. They don't. A lot of times your third may be better than their third corner unless you got a hybrid guy who can come inside. Because now, heck, your best cover guy, he better be able to cover a slot. Even though you may not move that guy inside, your third corner better be able to cover slot and be involved in the run game because they're going to spread you out and run at you. So you better be able to tackle. That's why you see guys like Petrie and these guys who can do both and cover that are hybrid safety / corners. But I asked him, I said, okay, remove the quarterback from it. It used to be this, JB, quarterback, left tackle, and then edge rusher, right? Now edge rusher and left tackle, they're fighting over it, and it's even tackle period because teams are moving the guy away from their best tackle. I asked him, you know what he told me? I said, aside from the quarterback, what's becoming the most important position on a team? And after all their PFF studies and depth, you know what he said? Wide receiver. He said, the second mode, go get me that guy. Well, Jefferson, Chase, that guy is relevant on a lot of teams. The Rams had that guy with Kupp, and now they got it with Putin trying to get back to the Super Bowl. Look what happened when you shut the run game down. Even though Barkley had a phenomenal season and had a lot of touches in the Super Bowl, he didn't have a monster statistical performance, but he made an impact because of his presence. Well, what happened? Both Devontae and AJ score touchdowns, right? So I get what you're saying now. To have 2 great ones is one thing. But to have all that money invested in 3 of the cats, the quarterback and 2 of those, really ties up your hands a little bit. But maybe they have a plan. Maybe they're going to go the value. But I don't know how you're going to get the value when your best guy, you let him go out there and walk and at least go try to find somebody who is interested in getting him, right, and trading for him.
Yeah.
So
you made a great point, John. You made a great point because I'm going to be honest, when they drafted Jamar with Burrow and they all, the next year they were like, okay, so everyone criticized it, to your point. We need O-line in Cincinnati. They need this. And then there was very few people that said, nah, you need to go get this guy, a wideout that's top tier. And guess what, Sean? Year 2, they're in the Super Bowl against the Rams. And they gambled, right? The risk outweighed the reward, or the reward outweighed the risk in that instance. So I get your point. I mean, it may be true nowadays. And especially, Sean, the game has gotten, let's just say, softer than what we're accustomed
more
to.
More finesse on the perimeter. Yeah.
Can't bang wideouts over the middle. You can't put the fear of God in these cats anymore, and you can't hit the quarterback. So maybe it's just it's leaning towards 7-on-7.
Yeah, well, JB, I was just going to say, while it is supposed to be 11-on-11, if you can dominate 7-on-7 in the NFL, you at least got a chance. But when you get to that big game, you and I both know this. It's been a long time, and I can't remember a time when finesse actually was better than physical on that game in February. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, I don't want to rain on the parade of these guys celebrating, but I do know this: Cincinnati's still got a lot of work to do, and it's going to the majority on the defense. The 2 things that have kept them back from winning the Super Bowl has nothing to do with perimeter. Has nothing to do with perimeter. It has hell, they had Boyd too. They had 3 pretty damn good wide receivers the year they ran to the Super Bowl, right? And Joe Mixon was in the backfield. Yes. But guess what? The offensive line was not good the year they went. It's amazing they got there. And now defensively, not good. And they'll get close, but getting there is going to be tough. But God bless T. Higgins is the highest paid number 2 ever. And Jamar Chase went and got his. You got to have them, but you still can't sell them.
That's a huge fucking
defense.
That's a huge loss too. I think that's more. It's not discussed enough, but the Mixon lost. Mixon lost to Houston.
Dude. He's when he's there, when Whitworth was gone, he was physical. But with Mixon, that's why I tell people here. I said, you know who the most physical offensive player on Houston's team was last year? Not Tunsil. It's Joe Mixon, and it ain't close, dude. His attitude, and he's mean and nasty on the field, and he will thump the shit out of you and knock your dick in the dirt. Well, in Cincinnati, imagine now take this offense and throw Joe in there and shore it up. You got, and so what's Cincinnati's loss is Houston's gain, no doubt about it. Hey, let's get to flash funding real quick. We got much more to talk about, but the Cincinnati Bengals, congrats to those guys paying offensive players. Joe Burrow, they should score about 45 a game. I'm being a little bit facetious, but if you score 600 points, can you not give up 625? Might be the key. Flash funding is dedicated to helping businesses grow and expand by providing the cash flow they need exactly when they need it. Instead of waiting on receivables, businesses can access immediate funding to seize growth opportunities, cover operational costs, and maintain profitability. We partner with a diverse range of businesses not to support their success, but to offer financing solutions beyond what traditional banks can provide. 14 years of industry experience. Our team is committed to delivering exceptional service. Understand the cash flow is the key to business growth, guys, and we're able to help you unlock it. Flash Funding offers factoring services across the continental USA, providing same-day funding with no monthly minimums or applications fees, which is huge. And when it comes to financial flexibility, we're the ideal solution for your business needs. We are at the Premier Gold Studios as well. And you say, well, Sean, is this a studio? I say no, but Premier Gold is our studio, guys. And we're so grateful for them. And when the studio is finished, it's going to be epic. JB, back to you and discussing this stuff. Now let's switch to another offensive player in Aaron Rodgers. Minnesota believes they have their future quarterback, and their future quarterback they believe maybe in the present, but they've loaded up. I think they've had, if you were giving A's away this offseason in free agency, Minnesota's one of them. They've shored up interior on defense, interior on offense. They got second. They went out and took care of guys they needed to keep in-house, kept them in-house. They're good on the back end. They've done everything right. They re-signed Aaron Jones. Here's the problem. Their quarterback is now in Seattle, and J.J. McCarthy appears to be a guy that's going to be a really good player, and they're hoping can do the same things that Sam did for them. But can he? And is Aaron Rodgers viable for them? And how big a deal would it be? Forget the Favre thing with the Jets and here and the Packers. I'm just talking about sheer football ability. Would Aaron Rodgers retire if he's not a Minnesota Viking? And does Aaron Rodgers make them better than Sam Darnold did? I'm just talking about production-wise. Of course, on paper he does. But production-wise, is he still got that I am ready to put my foot on your throat attitude and keep and score to make sure I go to Minnesota? Does he give them a better chance to win in a very tough division?
Sean, you brought it up a few times. Would you grab a Aaron Rodgers right now to help you win a Super Bowl? And I think one of the main reasons is he's coming off an Achilles. He got better last year as the season got older, but
he felt a little more comfortable, right, JB, as the season got to December.
Yeah. But his feet are gone, right? He's no longer a threat where he used to be. I don't know, to your question, if he gives you that. Sam Darnold's athletic as shit now, and he can use his feet to help you extend plays. I think that's what every solid quarterback does now in this era. I think they extend the plays from Mahomes to Jalen Hurts, of course. You know, we got Lamar, of course, and Josh Allen, all the anomalies. But even the guys that we don't consider runners are still athletic enough to make plays with their feet and extend the pocket and the play. I don't know if Aaron's there anymore. So to answer your question, I don't think he is better than Sam Darnold right now. Now, can he be a big-time arm and Justin Jefferson and him go crazy? And yeah, and you got Addison on the other side. You got a good tight end. You re-sign Aaron Jones. Yeah, it could. And it would be a great fit, in my opinion, to see JJ learn from a guy like Aaron Rodgers. But is Aaron Rodgers the captain that he used to be? And is he all in a place like Minnesota? Sean King brought up a point on my show earlier. Maybe Aaron saying, you know what, it's either Minnesota or retire for me because I want to play indoors, no weather elements. Half the season I'm indoors and I'm older, and I understand that. And so maybe that's the key for him. But does Minnesota go that route? I don't know, Sean. That's something I'd ask you.
Yeah, I can't blame him for that, JB. Here's my thoughts on this. I think the numbers Darnold put up would be very difficult for Aaron with his lack of movement and stuff to do it. I do from last year. Now, the simple fact that his name's Aaron Rodgers brings some moxie to it. It also brings some sideshow headache, and there is no question about it. How much do they want to deal with that? Is he a better player right today than Sam Darnold? Are we getting Aaron Rodgers? Are you bringing him in if you do because you love him from the past, you love him from 3 years ago, or you love him because he gives you the best chance to get to a Super Bowl? I'm with you, JB. I'm not sure I can answer that. I mean, well, my answer right now would be I don't think so. Now, because people don't give Darnold enough credit for being pretty mobile with his feet and being able to play off schedule as well. Now, all things being perfect, and Aaron Rodgers another year of health with the Achilles, it's Aaron Rodgers. But at 41, is he better than a guy, well, like J.J. McCarthy, who's going to give you far more athleticism and just go? Here's the funny thing about time, JB. What do most people complain about with the quarterback? Well, I don't want to play a rookie. I want to play a veteran. And even though they're playing rookies, I want to get a veteran to be able to sit and let the guy watch. And then when you let that guy go and Sam Darnold, and then we're pissed that we don't have that guy, meaning whether it's media or fans. And then you put a rookie in, and if he struggles, you want the veteran. So you win for losing. So we want the veteran to give the guy to. We don't have to rush the first round starter or backup, should I say, to be the starter. And then when we have the rookie being the starter and he plays well, then you say, okay, we didn't need the veteran. But the second he throws 2 picks or 3 picks, see, we should have gone out and got the veteran to let him learn. And I think it also depends on who the coach is, who around you is, what kind of offense and defense and what kind of players you have around you. Minnesota's primed to win, hence 14 wins last year, right? 14 wins last year and a chance to win the division and be home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They ain't getting home field advantage throughout the playoffs this year, J.J. McCarthy or Aaron Rodgers. They're just not. Even though they had it. Now, when I say home field with 15 wins. It's hard to win 14 games, let alone get to 15. Now, could they have home field advantage with Aaron Rodgers? Maybe, because their roster, in my opinion, without a quarterback getting any work, the rest of their roster is better this year than it was last year. I believe that with Minnesota. Now, the question is, can McCarthy give you the production? Are you better with Aaron Rodgers? Is it time to just say, screw it, take the governor off, and I'm going to turn it over to McCarthy, and we're just going to let it rip, and we don't want Aaron Rodgers the sideshow? What happens if Rodgers comes in and he's not very good, JB? What happens if he's just average? How quickly do you go to McCarthy? Like I said, when you have the veteran, you love it, and you want the rookie not to have to study.
Then you got a headache, right? You go to JJ, right. You got a fucking headache. So.
Is the headache bigger than the talent at this stage of the game with Rodgers?
Yeah, I don't think so. Here's the thing, Sean. If I were to ask you just real quick, we have these openings right now that are glaring. The New York Football Giants. If I just gave you these names, tell me who goes there. Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, or Aaron Rodgers. Who's the best fit in New York right now?
Well, I think that the guy best chance to get would be, I think Russ Wilson likes the celebrity New York atmosphere. To me, now, put it this way, all three of those guys, you're not sniffing a playoff, and I'm not sure you're saving a coach's job, any of those guys.
Okay, Cleveland Browns. Who's the best fit right now?
I would actually keep the guy that I had last year in there in Jameis Winston. I'd keep him.
They just signed
he's going to get you hurt with his arm, but he's also going to make some plays with his arm. And I think the guy loves to play, and I think the players respond to him. They're not a threat offensively right now to get anybody's playoff. And Deshaun Watson, I wouldn't. And if you're throwing a rookie in there as well, to me, who's a better thrower of the ball, Wilson or Jameis Winston?
They're fuck. I don't know. They both throw the ball deep. They throw it deep. They can throw it.
You're going to get probably more protection of the football and more
a
less. What's the word? You're going to get far riskier with Jameis because he takes more shots than the other guy.
Yeah.
And just when Russ Wilson, his first year in Denver, when you go back and watch that tape, he was afraid to throw balls into windows. Yeah. He had lost that edge or those balls when he was in Seattle. He went there and he tried to play too cute. Second year, he got better. And then Sean ran him out and went to Pittsburgh. And at times it looked like, man, the old Russ Wilson. But he can't sustain the passing. So the truth is 6 1/2 the other, right?
All right. So who fits the Pittsburgh bill?
Well, for me, if he wants to play outdoors and is healthy, Aaron Rodgers, because their defense is good. I wish they had Najee Harris, but they've got big time receivers that he can get the ball to. And he's still a better thrower of the football than Russ Wilson is. I'm telling you, he just is.
Yeah.
Without question. So
and
I don't think any of those quarterbacks are a Super Bowl threat. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm big bar, cheat, and steal to go to Minnesota if they want me, regardless of the money difference, wherever else it is. And Pittsburgh, you'd want to go there too, the history of the team and what they're doing. And they went and got DK Metcalf and paid him. The problem is does he want to deal with the elements where you get Detroit indoors, you get Green Bay, but you're used to it. You know how to play there. Chicago, you know how to play there. You recognize the division. In Minnesota, you're indoors 8 games a year, or 8 or 9 games, depending on the schedule.
And if you're New York now with Brian Dable, are you going to – I just be honest on it. Jameis Winston gets Brian Dable fired, though.
Oh, there's no doubt. One day it's like, man, I love you. It's great. And then a quarter later, he's thrown 2 picks. And while I love him, he just is – he's such a risk-reward quarterback. Right now, Brian Dable doesn't need the risk, right, to save his job.
And they're
Rodgers
him
gives
today.
you the best chance. But if you're Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to stay. I'm out. I'm gone.
Yeah,
I don't have a chance to make the playoffs for the most part in that division with the Giants. They're not good enough. Pittsburgh, you got a legitimate chance because Tomlin always has his team in the playoffs. Minnesota, you got the best chance to go deep because I think overall they're the best roster. They're better than Cleveland. They're better than Pittsburgh, especially overall roster, even though Pittsburgh's defense will show up. And the Giants, forget it. The truth of the matter is, as I look at this list, Winston, Russ Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, a number 1 pick, Joe Flacco, the best chance you have to win a Super Bowl is in Minnesota, I believe. Because in that division, you still got to go through Cincinnati's offense in the north. You still got to go through the Baltimore Ravens. And Cleveland will show up defensively and knock you around. I listen, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I call what does it take to play for you? The question is, do you want to muddy the water with a 41-year-old quarterback that I'm not sure is all bought into playing football still? If he's pondering retirement, is he all in? See, I got to say I'm 100% all in on playing football. I'm not retiring for another 2 years or 1 more. So I'm going to do it at the end of the year. I'll reevaluate my career. But I can't have a 50-50. What happens if they suck the first month offensively, no matter where he is, and he checks out? Not that he's a checkout guy in the past, but at this stage of the game, if you're pondering retirement, JB, if you're pondering retirement, anything you do, can you be all in? I don't know. Can you?
No. That's one foot in, one foot out. You can't have one foot in.
I'm not all in. And if you're Kevin McCarthy, while it's intriguing with Rodgers, don't you, with the movement of the quarterback, the rookie, don't they have a better chance to win with a rookie and then bring a Flacco in to back him up type of guy, truthfully? Something like that. Doing it all over again, I wonder if they wish that they would have franchised Sam Darnold.
Yeah, you talking about Kevin O'Connell, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. What did I say?
McCarthy. You said McCarthy or something, but yeah.
No, I meant J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback.
Yes. Yeah. Playing for O'Connell. Yeah.
Play him. Or do you wish that you'd have franchised Darnold for 1 year at like $42 million and then said it's still another prove-it year, and then we'll go from there? What would have been the problem with that? Salary cap help? You don't have to guarantee a long-term contract?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Why didn't they do that?
That's I don't get it. Sean, let me ask you something.
Right now, of all those guys, I'll take Darnold over any of them right now.
Yeah, me too. Let me ask you something just real quick before you move on. Does this tarnish his legacy, though, if he follows Brett Favre? I know you and I brought this up several times last week, but I guess my co-host, Big Smitty, brought it up. He was like, you know what? This is the time of Aaron Rodgers' career where he needs to shit or get out the pot, so maybe it does take longer for him to figure it out. But I'm going to be honest, Sean, I'm over this song and dance. You have held teams out at bay long enough in your career. You've done this for the last 5 years. When is it time to just give these guys a heads up and proper way and be professional and say, I'm done playing or I want to play?
JB, the 35-year-old Aaron Rodgers, the 35-year-old Aaron Rodgers can hold teams. He can hold you hostage.
He had the leverage.
Right.
Now he doesn't.
A 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers who has other interests, I get it, who's coming off an Achilles from 2 years ago, and it took him a while to get in. But the thing is, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm trying to put myself in his position. Do I really give a shit that Favre did the same thing? Do I really? Well, I mean, I didn't. It's not like people were doing a whole lot of Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre talk. I mean, you know what I'm saying? To me, if you go in there and play great football, nobody will give a shit. If you go in there and say, oh, see, he just had to follow the same path. It's weird how it's worked out that way. But to me, he doesn't have the same leverage to hold me hostage for 2 more weeks. At some point, I, as an organization, got to find somebody who is all in. And this is coming from 2 guys and me and you that hold Rodgers in high regard for a career that was one of the best throwers of the football of all time, and competitive, and could pull it out of his ass and throw it behind his back and throw it accurate. I know that. But, man, you can't play this position in this league 75% in. You can play it, but you'll be average at it. You have to, and especially at 41 years old, when your mobility is not the same. His mobility, while not his strength, his biggest strength, was a threat. It was a sneaky threat when he was at his best. So is he all in? Does he care about the Favre in front of him? I mean, I wouldn't not go to Minnesota because Brett Favre played there. Why do I give a shit about that? My whole thing is, if the timing's right and they want it, but are you going to let McCarthy compete against him? What's the leash that Aaron Rodgers would get in Minnesota? And right now, the Pittsburgh quarterback room is still empty, right? It is still friggin' empty unless I can tell you right now, they're not winning. As much as I respect his career, Jameis ain't winning a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh if he went there. Russ Wilson's not winning a Super Bowl for him. That ship sailed, buddy. It just has. Aaron Rodgers, maybe. A rookie quarterback is not. Jaden Daniels ain't in this draft, folks, at least as a rookie. I'm just telling you, he's not. Now, Cam Ward may end up being good. Shedeur Sanders may end up being good. But that guy's not in this draft because they're going to end up, if they do get drafted, they're going to end up with the Giants or with the Cleveland Browns or with somebody else that doesn't give them much chance to win. The Tennessee Titans, right? You're not winning. None of those are. Jaden Daniels went to a team that had some good defensive front. They had some good players. They had a good receiver. They can run it, and their commitment to it. So the cupboard wasn't bare in Washington. It's not bare in Pittsburgh, that either. But in Cleveland, in the Giants, the Giants, and Tennessee, JB, there's no threat to win a Super Bowl in 2025. If Aaron Rodgers is truly about winning and Minnesota wants him, that's where you'd go regardless of Brett Favre ahead of you. That's just my opinion. And I'm not sure the money matters at this stage because he doesn't have a lot of leverage in my mind.
Hey, Sean, are you wearing that fucking green so you don't get pinched?
No, well, the green was just because it just fit. You know, it was the right thing, and I'm trying to put some respect. I'm just giving respect to the Red Sox who are going to go win the East this year. So recognize, okay? Fools better recognize. And I know if they play the Dodgers in the World Series, they got no chance. Save it, all right? Stop, okay? The Dodgers go like 12 deep in a pitching staff. Exactly. If they don't win, I know all the whole shit. I get it. I just wore a pinch. Listen, man. I like to celebrate holidays, JB.
Hey, Sean, Brett Boomer made a hell of a point. He's like, fucking 18-year vet Kershaw is going to be the 9th deep guy on your team.
Dude, think about that. You're going to roll Kershaw out a little bullpen, a little spot star, whatever it is, and he's going to the Hall of Fame, and he's your 9th guy. And you were able to let Walker Buehler walk, no pun intended, and you still got 9 cats. Hey, who's that guy? Dude, you're going to have like between Cy Young potential and MVP guys on that team. It's stupid. I mean, I'm just blasphemous to call them the 27 Yankees, but damn, dude, the roster and the money, they just
Brett,
blow by any luxury tax. They don't give
Brett said he's a little worried for the first time that the all-time wins record is the Seattle Mariners, the team he was on.
In danger.
And he said he's probably fucking scared this year that this might be the one.
Dude, and when Major League players are saying, they know how hard it is for the grind. When Major League Baseball players are saying, like Brett on that Seattle team that was good enough to win a World Series, and when you win like 116, 115?
116, I believe.
116 games. That's sick, right? And you didn't win the World Series. I'm sure that was a bummer because they were friggin' loaded. Well, the Dodgers may have the Dodgers, if they stay healthy, how can I think the over-under by Vegas was set at like $105, 106. Nobody sets it at 105 or 106.
And Sean, that might be without Ohtani pitching that 9 deep.
You know what's crazy? Ohtani with a normal year is going to go win the MVP. And if he decided all he wanted to do is pitch, he can win 18 games and win the Cy Young for you. It's pathetic. I'm going to say this, and I've said it, JB, not on this show. You can give me Babe Ruth all you want. And I know he was a unique player and all that. Babe Ruth ain't stealing 50 fucking bases, okay? This dude is the most unique player in sports history. I know Dion was a great, I didn't say best athlete playing two sports. In their own sport, you can give me a Bo Jackson, two-sport guy. I know he was a freak. I'm just talking about Bo didn't pitch. I'm just talking about a guy who can go pitch and win the Cy Young and would be a favorite, one of the top favorites odds-wise, and he's going to be the top favorite MVP-wise, odds-wise. Imagine that. And he can do both, and he actually will, if he does both like he normally would do it, he will get MVP and Cy Young votes, which I think he's already gotten as a player when he was with the Angels. It's stupid.
That's crazy.
He is the most unique player in sports history, period.
Yeah, Brett said it. Brett Boone said it. He said he still takes Bonds offensively over any human ever walked.
No question. I couldn't agree more.
But he said Ohtani, Bonds didn't pitch. So
yeah, one thing, and he may win Gold Gloves in the outfit, but Bonds ain't throwing 99 and busting, throwing a C note up there, doing it, breaking one off on you and breaking and buckling your knees, and then go hit the game-winning home run. Yeah, fuck, are you kidding? And then he said, and not only is he's not one of those guys that he just can barely. He'll hit a 500-foot home run in batting practice, dude. I mean, it's just, and, oh, man, I had a rough day. I hit 3 singles, but they turned into triples because I stole 3 bases, too. Come on, dude. It's stupid. It's freak. And the Dodgers freak show. So back to your original question. Yeah, I didn't want to get pinched, and I'm trying to pinch myself thinking the Red Sox, if they can give me some pitching, actually might be pretty good this year.
I forgot to wear green. I got the Save Girls Sports shirt you can find, though, on my website now.
I like it. Hey, tell them where to find it for your shirt.
CoachJBStore.com.
There you go.
Save Girl Sports, Sean. We already talked about last week, Sean, the dude out here fucking, drop stepping on a girl in the game and fucking dunking on her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fucking fair.
Oh, yeah, dude. Hey, grow a set of balls and go play female sports. It's not, what a novel concept. Let them dangle down to your ankles and then go dunk on somebody and give them a Texas tea bag while you're on top of them and think that that's normal. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, I don't have to be tolerant of guys playing women's sports. Women deserve the time to play their own sport. Go long jump 40 feet by and against the dudes, okay? Bob Beeman ain't available, all right?
Hey, fucking dude triple jump fucking 18 feet longer than the girl. No shit.
Yeah, boy, what a stud. Yeah,
hey, what was it? What was it called? A Texas what?
I call it what do you say? The Texas tea bag? Always bigger? There you go, man. I gave it that name. And the unpaved merch will be out too, JB, so we'll be able to have some fun with all of it, man.
What's wrong with you, man?
Nothing. I'm just saying you're never ever going to convince me that men and women's sports is okay.
Oh no, it doesn't.
All the years they've crawled 10 miles over broken glass to earn the right to do their thing, and your kid earning a scholarship. You shouldn't have to box a guy that's got balls down to his ankle. I'm sorry, you just shouldn't.
And John, it's funny the people that actually defend it always look the same. It's a fucking fat wobble body with purple hair, and she thinks
that it's a white liberal lady.
It's a white fucking Karen with purple hair. She's got a fucking
nose yelling at him, telling you that how dare you guys change the health plan in this country while she's eating 4 Big Macs and ordering a Diet Coke? Yeah, thanks, appreciate it. We'll make sure we do that. Okay, all right. I digress, but no, don't get me on this men and women's sports thing. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care that doesn't bother me at all.
Neither.
What does bother me is when men are allowed to play women's sports and take the scholarship from your daughter.
Yes.
Nah.
Leave the girls out of it. Fucking let them have their sport.
I would agree. Hey, JB, we another quick football part. We'll get to March Madness. Is Derek Stingley, hell of a player, right? He it's a 93-year, $90 million extension and $89 million of it guaranteed. They are, JB, I'm telling you now, they're living here in Houston. They're building something defensively, brother. Now, the quarterback's there. Nico Collins is a full-blown grown-ass man. You add Christian Kirk, who's a really good number 2. When your guy Tank Dell, he'll miss this year when he gets healthy. And I think they go find one more in this draft. They're still working on some veterans. I do. And the weakness, and they cleared house with their offensive line. They are building something. They're well coached.
Hopefully Mechie can get back to what he was at Alabama.
Mechie can get back to being who he was at Alabama. You get a steal for him because
shout out to him. He beat cancer and all that, and now hopefully he gets back to it. And then he got older. I think got an older Robert Woods still, LA kid.
Yes, occasion. And then they got Hutchinson there, who's there. They've got some threes and that can play, but And then with Mixon, I just need Mixon more involved in the passing game. If the offensive line becomes nasty where they want to kick, where they are mean and nasty and stay on sides, the Texans are building something. But back to this defensive stuff, I'm telling you, JB, they got something going on now because they are nasty on the edges. They're getting better inside. Linebackers can run, and they're vicious. They led the league, one of the top teams in penalties last year, so they got to stop that so they don't put themselves in a bind. Protect the quarterback. They will get off the field, and you're going to get possessions with that defense. And adding what they've added with the C.J. Gardner, with him bringing him over from a Super Bowl champion. He was really good in play. He could cover a nickel when he was playing in New Orleans, and then goes to Philadelphia and gets that taste of championship. They're going to move some people around up front, but adding Stingley, they've already got their corners are both good. Bullock's a hell of a ball hawk in the secondary. Petrie's a Pro Bowl caliber talent at strong safety. They're pretty damn good, man. Lassiter, like I said, they're top pick last year. JB, they can play. Top pick. Let's see. Yeah, was Lassiter the first round pick? I think so. The opposite corner had a hell of a year as a rookie, and two of those guys are rookies in the secondary. They're going into their second year.
A week ago, J.C. Horn was the highest paid corner, and now 7 days later, we topped it already. And then you got Jamar Chase topping Max Crosby already. It's like this market's just never going to end. And listen, you got Patrick Surtain will be the next guy, and you got all these different guys. Yeah. And my point is, you didn't mention a name, and apparently last week you said you're hearing that this name that we didn't mention on offense is not coming back. Are you sold that Diggs is gone?
No. Well, I did in town here, the word was that they're not bringing him back. Now, just because they haven't signed him. You know how that goes if you don't have the same leverage and you're going and all of a sudden it gets closer and you say the draft is coming, but we got that first pick. We now got a bunch of assets for the Tunsil trade. Do we want to trade up and go get us? Because it's not a great tackle draft either, but and they need some interior linemen. Do you trade up and get a guard who's a stud and use some of those assets if you're the Texans? I think they're at 25, JB, move up, and then say maybe we can get a guy coming off an injury and stuff on Diggs on maybe another make good 1 year type of contract where you pay him. And now you're loaded, JB. Yeah, you're exactly. So the talk is, and I never until I see him sign with somebody else, I never think they're out of the picture. I just don't.
I've heard rumors today. I heard rumors from a pretty reliable source that covers a lot of this that Diggs is shopping homes in Vegas.
Why not?
Him and Geno?
Why not? And you add him to a Pete Carroll's going to have them. They're going to turn this around, JB.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
They're going to turn around, and I like Geno Smith. I think it'll be one of the more underrated gets this offseason. Now, the Raiders, it's a tough division. Shit, we know that. Denver's really good. Chargers are getting better, and they're really good and physical, and we know about the Chiefs. But the bottom of the division is going to get better there, and Pete Carroll's going to make sure. They're not playoff ready yet, but they are upgrading, and Geno will be good. And if you could go out there and pay Diggs and get him in Vegas, that'd be really, really good for Geno Smith. There's no question about it. All right, JB, let me get this here with my guys at AI Powered Funding. The golden age is here. Golden age of America is right here, you small business owners. Opportunities everywhere, and you need to take advantage of the capital that's there. And if you need capital, make sure you take advantage of it at ai.tricera.com. It's cutting-edge AI technology, which is the wave, man. If you're not on the wave, you're going to get left behind. So make sure it matches the business with the right funding sources. You want them both to come together and be simpatico, right? Instantly, without waiting. 250 grand, is that what you need? How about 100 million? We have the capital and the programs for businesses of all sizes. Ray Smith, CEO of Tricera, built a Fortune 100 level business credit and funding system powered by AI so you can secure funding faster than ever before. It's not your personal credit. You don't want that personal risk. You want AI-driven funding that works, so it's business credit, right? The golden age of America is here. Are you ready to claim your share? If you're not, get on board. Let's go. It's ai.tricera.com. Go there now, ai.tricera.com. Funding made simple, powered by AI. All right, JB, let's get to this college. But Stingley's a great get, and he's a lockdown corner. We overuse that term, but he really is a guy who can travel, whether you want him to or not, and do good. And he doesn't have to travel a lot because Lassiter's pretty freaking good. The Texans defense market here, and JB, matter of fact, if they're not, I owe you a $500 signing bonus, right, for the boat, okay? whatever it is we want to put on that damn boat. If they're not a top 5 statistical defense next year, I will be shocked. I do. If they're healthy and they don't have some, 8 guys get hurt, if they're lined up healthy, that's a top 5 defense because D'Amico Ryans can coach defense. Let's go to the college basketball March Madness. I told you about these Houston Cougars, JB. We got Duke. We're going to, between today and tomorrow, we're going to come up with how we can get involved in a contest for you guys. Listen, I don't believe the play-in games. To me, the NC2A tournament starts Thursday. The 2 best days in sports are Thursday, Friday of the NC2A tournament. You take off school, you call in sick at work as if your boss doesn't know you're bullshitting, but do it anyway. Best betting days, sitting in a sports book. Thursday, if I used to take my kids out of school and we'd go with their friends, we'd eat all day and watch. 10 of us would be watching that when they were in high school. To me, it was a holiday. They had more fun doing that than they'll ever learn in a doggone U.S. history class, even though you can go back and read a book. Those moments I cherish with my kids. So that's Thursday. The tournament doesn't start with the play-in game. I'm sorry to tell you, it starts Thursday. Now, and we will have a fun contest to be involved then. The number 1 seeds round, we'll cover the whole bracket as the week goes on. Duke, best player in college basketball, quite frankly, probably on the team, maybe the number 1 pick of the draft if he were to leave. Florida, which right now, in the toughest college basketball conference on the planet this year, the Florida Gators are playing out of their frigging minds right now. And that is a tough one to get through. Hell, a team like Tennessee in the SEC, we know Auburn, the other number 1 seed, and the University of Houston. I'm all for and agree with the number 1 seeds, but we got a bunch of teams that can go on and win it too. Michigan State's physical. We know Tennessee is a really good team. Hell, the Texas Techs of the world, the A&Ms of the world. We got some good teams. Texas got it. There's some damn good teams that will roll through. And if you pick the underdog points-wise in every game on the first round, you probably win some money. The points-wise underdog, because you know how that goes in like 5-12 seeds. We'll cover that as we go. But with the 1 seeds, JB, I want to get back to, we talk about traveling. I'm going to tell you now, they can knock down shots. They've got he's as good a coach as we have in college basketball. He's building something special and already has at the University of Houston. You watch them, they won the conference. They traveled and broke the Big 12 record for road wins in a row this year. Kelvin Sampson team can win it all, but I'm going to tell you what, man, you're hoping that the SEC teams have beat the hell out of each other like they used to be with the Big Ten and Michigan State and Wisconsin. Still 2 good teams. Michigan, you saw that conference championship over the weekend, and Michigan State got beat, but man alive, they're physical. Do they have enough firepower scoring-wise? But with these number 1 seeds, man, you just got to guard against, a 16, which is not – it's happened, twice? It's not going to happen in these 4 games. But as you roll along, you don't want to let a 6 seed roll up on you and beat you. But I love this. And any 4 of them, and sometimes there's a week 1 seed. I don't see a week 1 seed. Bruce Pearl's team's off the charts. We know what Duke's all about. I love the Houston Cougars this year because, JB, unlike years past, now they've had some guys, but they've been banged up with some of their star players in the tournament. They've got some guys that knock down shots. And if you don't like playing against a team that's relentless on defense and on the backboards, if you're faint of heart, don't play the Houston Cougars because they will match up against anybody. It'll come down to guard play and playing defense in the tournament, knocking down shots in a big building in the Final Four.
Yeah, I think Houston's best player missed in their tournament the other day, so hopefully he's back and Houston's full go. Florida, listen, I already told you on this show, my money's going with Houston and Calvin and the pressuring defense that they play all game long. I'm going with Houston to get over the hump, but the money is there. Scared money don't make money. But if my gut tells me Florida with the guard play, they got the best point guard in America, in my opinion, plus the best backcourt. So I think that the Florida Gators right now are the most well-rounded team in the tournament, even over Duke. Duke has the best player if healthy, and they do have depth. But that Florida team is the most well-rounded, and I think my gut's telling me Florida's going to make an epic run. Similar to back in the day when they had all the Horfords and all those guys when they were loaded.
When they went back-to-back, when they went back-to-back,
beat my Bruins, man.
Yeah.
Beat my Bruins, yeah.
And real quick, JB, with this is the guard play. When you say it, this is with college basketball is a guard game. It's a guard game. You run the temp. You can give me the best big man, but even if it's a great big man with great guard play, okay. But if you have a great big man. Purdue went through that and got to the final, got beat. You have to have guard play And you've got to contest, and you've got to get to the offensive backboards. And it will come down to, look at the way conference tournament. Can you make some free throws? And can you finish with your guard and knock down shots, that star player? And you got to defend, man. You got to be able to win a 51-49 mutter, and you got to be able to win an 88-86 where stars have to rear their head and go get you 30. All four of these teams have it, but I'm telling you what, guard play will – the national champion in this will have played defense, shot free throws, and will get great guard play. And Houston's got that as well. But I can tell you this, that defense will – they will wear your jock for you the entire time. And if not, you'll be sitting next to Kelvin Sampson, I assure you with that. All right, JB, let me get this in. I want to finish up with some Steve Alford talk. Okay, we got a video. It's a 3-minuter, but we need to hear it because this is on college, what these coaches now are going through. And we'll have the week. We're not going to talk a lot about it today. We'll hit it, but I want you guys to hear it when we come back from this because we're talking about our Premier Gold studios and Premier Gold. Listen, as an athlete, the pressure of the tournament coming up, pressure, 4-leaf clover. Don't be counting on the stock market and 4-leaf clover. That's it. It takes hits, right? But the pressure in pro sports, when I played, the pressure of dealing with the Lawrence Taylors of the world, yeah, that sucks. It's not fun, but you can recover from that. When you retire, can you recover from that if all of a sudden the market collapses, that you aren't dodging players, but you're dodging a market collapse, a national debt problem, whatever it might be that causes you to like, oh my gosh, I had 401ks and I had my IRAs, everything was set. And when I hit retirement, it was going to be great. What happened? And now you're 70 or you're 65 and you said, man, I retired at 58, retired early. I'm good to go. Now you got to go back to work. How many people out there are hiring $15 an hour at a fast food joint? How many people are hiring 65, 70-year-olds that retired and been out 2 years? And then all of a sudden it hits. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared over the years to see markets take a hit one after the other after the other? A bad day on Wall Street can mean years of losses for your retirement that maybe, just maybe, you can't recover from because as you get older, it's tougher. And you know when you set into that mindset, okay, I'm relaxed and good to go, I'm retired, and then all of a sudden I have to click it back in 2 years later and say, oh, hell, tough, man. You don't want to do that. That's when I realized you got to have a playbook. We had them in sports and a good playbook that you study and know all about that's centered around financial security, not just football touchdown passes. That's about building wealth and keeping it and protecting your wealth. I've teamed up with Premier Gold. You see it right up there on the screen over on this side, right up there, Premier Gold, and you see it down there on the ticker. Awesome, because precious metals, right? You can hold them in your hand. Tangible assets. They've helped countless folks, this Premier Gold, like me, to protect, well, with physical gold, what we've worked our lifetime for, to protect yourself and stand the test of time. Inflation, market swings, national debt, it can eat away at your retirement savings. So you better be prepared. People are living longer, right? And you better understand the risk tolerance that goes with it as well. And Premier Gold makes it easy for retirees to own gold, offering expert guidance, that playbook, a simple rollover process, and no hidden fees. Love them. If you're close to retirement already there, you need a game plan to protect what's yours. Just like the game you play, timing is everything, whether it's a pro sport or wherever it is you're playing it. But this isn't a game anymore. It's your future. It's your retirement. It's your legacy. It's your life. So protect it. Don't wait till it's too late. Give them a call today, 949-566-8666, to see how precious metals, tangible assets, and gold and silver could protect your retirement. 949-566-8666. The Premier Gold team is standing by with free one-on-one consultation to walk you through rolling over your 401k or an IRA into physical precious metals. Premier Gold is the only team I suggest to friends and family and loved ones and listeners, and it's what I trust. You guys need to get on that phone and call them today. Don't sit there and say, oh, I'm 40. I don't need to worry about it. Jump out in front of it now. Gold is smoking, okay? So get out there and do it. Hold those precious metals. Call 949-566-8666, 566. That's 949-566-8666. Call them today or go to the link, as you can see it, secure.premiergold.com/Sean. It's secure.premiergoldco. Make sure you get that in there. secure.premier.goldco.com, Sean. It's secure.premiergoldco.com/Sean. I'm going to say it again. You say, Sean, why are you repeating it so much? Because I want you to get it in your head that precious metals are it. Secure.premiergoldco.com/Sean. It's right there. You see it. Premier Gold. If you need anything, you can hit us as well. and I'll walk you through that as well. secure.premiergoldco.com/Sean. That's the one. All right, JB, let's finish up with this. Steve Alford, and I think a lot of coaches feel this way, and it's going to take a minute, but I want you to listen deeply to what he said, and you tell me if he's not spot on. We are paying athletes these days, and I don't care when they say it's not hand-to-hand cash. This isn't name, image, and likeness. This is potential we're paying on, not production for the most part. Have a listen. Steve Alford, University of Nevada, former Indiana, great player, been the coach at Indiana, been the coach at New Mexico, UCLA, at Nevada. Here's what he had to say about NIL and paying players.
You get a blueprint of what, we've been doing it a long time, and we develop a blueprint. Now blueprint changes and evolves. It's 5 years ago I wasn't, on conversation saying how much you want to be paid. Never thought that would happen in college basketball. And I've always been a big proponent as the game and money has evolved and changed. I've never been one that said I don't believe student athletes shouldn't be paid. But the way it is now is ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. And it's changed our game. And so you got to adapt. We got to adapt, but every coach, every handshake I have now before games, that's brought up. Every game. Me and the opposing coach are going to talk about portal issues. And, where's academics at? Like, I've talked to my compliance guys. What's APR anymore? You can't control APR. It's a JUCO. You're going to replace 8, 9 guys to a roster every year. The travel time that is across the country in these leagues. It makes no sense for that to be our model, but that is our model. So more than us, do we have to evolve as coaches? Yeah, we got to evolve of how now we recruit. Like, it used to be, hey, what's my degree going to look like? What's your facilities look like? What's your relationship with the team look like? Are you there for all practices? Are you a coach that dives into relationships and you're going to care for my child? You might as well throw all that stuff out, because the only question they're concerned about is what they're getting paid in the portal. And to me, that's a terrible model for an 18-year-old, because truth be told then, a lot of 18 and 19-year-olds are raising family members now, and that's not what you go off to college for. That's just not. And so that's frustrating, because I don't like our model at all. I don't know how that's going to change now that the genie's out of the bottle, but you asked me a pertinent question, and I don't like the model that we currently have, because it's not name, image, and likeness. That's not what it is. There's not that many college players that have that eval as a name, image, and likeness. Most of them are getting what they're getting before they ever produce, and that's not what you should have to produce, then you receive. It's a bad lesson, and we shouldn't be sending kids off to college academically or in our profession to teach them bad models for when they're 25 and 26. Like, I got 5 players now. NIL's done in 2 months. What happens to them? Are they going to be able to handle the real world now after having NIL for a couple of years at Nevada or wherever they've been? Are they going to really be prepared to handle the things that, oh, I'm not getting that money. I have to go earn that money? We're not really teaching them that. And I think that's something that people way above me have to really look at, because the NCAA and collegiate athletics should be about teaching life lessons, period, through athletics.
Could be more correct. When you say that, listen to Steve Alford, JB, here's what some people say. Yeah, but coaches were fleecing players and we were, taking advantage of them. I believe players should get paid. I get it. On their name, image, and likeness. I'm for it. Here's the problem. And he is exactly right. Let me ask you this, dude. I am not going to buy a pair of tennis shoes or a pair of sunglasses because some guy playing defensive end at Alabama is selling them, is endorsing them. I'm just not. I'm not. Now, maybe a 17-year-old, but a 17-year-old or 18-year-old or a college student, guess what they're not doing? They ain't paying advertising bills or NIL money. The big money boosters are, right? That's one. Two, and so how many guys actually move? And I know they're all not getting paid. How many actual guys move the needle that, JB, you see a college guy and you'd say, you know what, that 19-year-old, I'm buying a Mercedes because that guy is driving one. You're like, bullshit. He's driving it because somebody handed it to him for free, not because he actually believes in the car. Hell, you'd crawl 10 miles of broken glass just to stand on top of the Mercedes-Benz if somebody's giving it to you. You'll drive Fred Flintstone's shit and pedal with your own legs if somebody's giving it to you for free. That's one. Two is the players should. I understand on performance, not potential, number one. And it is basically, they can say what they want. It's hand-to-hand cash. This isn't NIL. This is getting the portal, somebody else. And you're not even leaving for any other reason other than somebody's paying you $100,000 more if you're a star player. Those are few and far between, but the big players are getting paid. And, JB, you know how you fix it? We have the problem. The model sucks ass. I don't want to take away from the player. The player's been getting hosed for a long time. But the model and how to pay them sucks ass. You want to fix it? Treat them like pros. We need a salary cap on NIL. We need a salary cap and how much you can spend in the portal every year. So you don't have – listen, who's going to win this? University of Texas, Texas A&M, the people who got money flowing out of their ass, and it's just it's a free river flowing of cash. So if you want to keep doing it, you're the Dodgers. You're the Dodgers if you can do it. So with that, and asking boosters to give more and more, and if your team's not winning, we want more and more. And I understand it. The model sucks. How do you fix it? A certain amount of transfers. We've talked about that, JB. Sit back and compete. 5 teams in 5 years because you got your ass handed to you and you couldn't compete bothers me. But with the pay for play type of thing, which is exactly what this is, put a salary cap on it. They're pros now. Why wouldn't we do that? That's the way you at least stop part of it from flowing so far downhill. The snowball is going so fast, you can never go back and not pay players. But there's got to be a different model. This model blows.
Yeah, Sean, 5 years ago when it started, I said this is going to be the worst thing you've ever seen. And
it's not college sports anymore, JB. It sucks.
Nah, it's coming down to it, too. Name, image, and likeness. One of my former longtime friends growing up and former teammate, Ed O'Bannon, was the reason for it.
Right.
And he did not want this either. If you talk to Ed, he'll tell you this wasn't the model. The model was name, image, and likeness, which is why they call it NIL. That means Sean Salisbury jerseys sell in the USC student store. He gets the money for those jerseys.
And he should.
He should. The Johnny Manziel's selling 5 million jerseys and now wanting his money, rightfully so, since this NIL kicked in, is why you do it. It's not about what we think you're going to be. Here's a 50 mil. This is the model that's going to destroy the sport that we all grew up loving. Amateurism is no longer, and we got to stop calling them students. They're not students no more, Sean, because if they were students, tell me where the fuck their diplomas and degrees are coming from. They're not. You don't even have a degree no more, Sean.
Yeah.
You don't even have a degree no more. Let me ask you something. These kids that are transferring 4 schools in 4 years, what school are they claiming that they got their diploma for?
Plus, a lot of those credits don't transfer in their major. Some may not have their major. Listen, JB, we're athletes first, students second. And I'm not putting a blanket statement to say everybody thinks the same. A lot of it has to do with how you're raised at home. But every coach I talk to now says within the first 3 questions on a recruiting visit, their parents or the kid are asking, how much money am I getting paid? Whether it's a portal recruiting visit or it's the free agency, and the portal is worse than any NFL or NBA free agency. So,
and Sean,
for the kid.
And I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be honest, too. Then you better not miss a fucking game.
Yes.
You better fucking play hurt. And you better fucking not give me no, I got to go here and I'm going to miss this because of the family. No. You're clocking in now. 9 to 5, motherfucker. You're clocking in the clock.
You're getting treated like the construction worker that works, that you got to clock in and get your shit right.
You're an employee. And I'm going to be honest, stop comparing them to grown-ass men, because I'm the stand on this hill. Everyone that comes at me, well, you weren't saying that when the coaches were leaving from school A to school B. Guess what? They deserve the fucking right to do so. They're 45, 55 years old. They've been putting kids through college for 20 years now. You ain't paid a fucking light bill, 17-year-old kid.
It's apples and oranges, JB.
You ain't put a kid through college? Yeah, it's apples and oranges, man. The grown man deserves the right. You wouldn't bitch and moan if your daddy got the Walmart job. He was a Walmart coach, and then he got the GM job at Target to make $100K more. Guess what? You're letting him go to Target to take the $100K more. That's a grown man decision that he has the right to make. These kids don't even know how to change the oil in their car yet, Sean.
They don't know how to change the tire. You know what they do? They get a name, image, and likeness deal, which is basically hand-to-hand cash to actually they endorse Jiffy Lube, and Jiffy Lube will do that shit for them. Okay,
it's sad, man.
And when you say this, the first thing people say is, oh, you hate the kid. Oh, no. I'm all for the kid getting his.
Me too.
As long as and the truth is, listen, there's not a whole lot of name, image, and likeness players moving product. I can't tell you in the name, image, and likeness side what 10 college kids, Robach, which is like a clothing wear. I see some of these college athletes wear it. I can't tell you what 10 of them are endorsing. I have no idea.
Sean, and be honest, Sean, let me ask
They're
you a question.
not moving product, dude. Sorry.
Nah, you're not moving product. Let me ask you a question. You know, this whole thing, man, has just become such a joke. We're giving car keys to Lamborghinis, and he haven't taught him how to drive a fucking Prius yet. And you wonder why we have young deaths on the road with these Hellcats and these Chargers supercharged and these Bentleys that kids are having. My buddy's still coaching this game, Sean. Yours do too. Go to a fucking parking lot now at Texas, Oregon, Auburn. They're fucking Hellcats, Lambos. Come on, man. They haven't earned shit yet, and we're giving them this already. You think they're really invested in playing?
Yeah, we're paying on potential, not production. Here's the thing. 5-star guy gets recruited, is a backup, but got a lot of NIL money coming out, is a backup, and he's pissed. So he goes in the portal and makes $5 million more and leaves. I'm not even talking about the loyalty. I'm just talking about this is when people say it's not pay for play. Oh, it sure as hell is.
And this is my last point on this, Sean. Here's my last point on this, because this is coming from big-time coaches that are in locker rooms dealing with these kids and addressing a team as a team. I'm addressing a team, and I'm motherfucking them at halftime, Sean. And guess what? The average NIL deal, just so everybody out here is clear, is $350 fucking dollars. It ain't $3 million. So the $3 million guy that gets motherfucked, he's getting motherfucked the same as the guy making $350. If you don't think that $350 guy is looking side-eyed over here and saying, "Oh shit, the grass is greener over here at Alabama. I'm out of here." You're crazy.
No question.
It's happening, Sean. It's harder to manage a locker room now because everybody thinks they deserve $3 million. No, you don't. There you don't. And so, Sean, I'm just telling you, to your point, yeah, make them earn it, but also then start giving a salary cap, to your point, or give them the money based on their stars they are out of high school. 5-star gets this, 4-star gets this, 3-star gets this. Use the D2 model and start splitting scholarships up then, because this right here is how college football and college athletics is going to become irrelevant in the next 5 to 10 years. Well, nobody's going to watch it.
It may not be ruined. JB, we're already on the path of it being – it's damaged. It's not beyond repair, but it's so cracked now and fractured that we are really close. We're closer to it being ruined than we are to being saved.
No doubt. You ain't putting the pace back in the tube, John.
So pay him on give me production, give me a salary cap, treat them like grown-ass men. Like you said, you're clocking in. And also start to say, you know what? You missed 4 or 5 classes you missed 5 classes during the season. And if you're not working towards graduation, meaning your GPA is not working towards graduation credit hours, you're not getting that money. There's got to you have to have incentive tied to it with academics and whatever else it is that's tied to being a college student athlete. We're not student athletes, and it's not all of them. Some have their priorities straight. The truth is, the majority of them aren't playing pro sports. So that's why I get, if you can capitalize on your jersey sales, if somebody at SC, let's say some big company when I was at SC has the CEO of Fluor Corporation says, "Sean, we need you to give a corporate speech and we want you to endorse our company on these billboards." Great. No problem. 4 times a year, you're doing it, but you can't transfer. Hey, we'll give you $12 million if you just come play for us. And they say that's not hand-to-hand cash. The model sucks. Put a salary cap on them and start rewarding them for production, not for potential.
And Sean, stop pissing on me and telling me it's rain.
Yeah,
stop telling me, because years ago it was all about, we can't travel so much during March Madness. The kids are missing class time. We can't travel. Guess what you did? You took the Pac-12 and eliminated it, and now you're playing fucking Rutgers on a weekly basis. You're telling me that travel is worthy? You're telling me that now it's okay to travel fucking across the country during the week and miss school? Stop. They're not student athletes no more, Sean.
Same thing, JB.
They're not student athletes.
When the NFL tells you we care about their health, you'll play a game on Sunday, then come back and have to play one on Thursday. After Derrick Henry carried it 40 times. Save me. That is, they do. They pee in your face and tell you it's raining. The college football model is not a good one, and you can't keep. How's Nevada keeping up with Duke? How's
I mean,
Nevada?
look at the tournament, Sean. 14 of 16 fucking teams in the SEC are in the tournament. You don't tell me it's not watered down. You're crazy.
Well,
I don't believe.
I can tell you this, and I would imagine the SEC spending a little more money too, brother. Guys, right?
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time to end on this, because this will be something we could talk about every day for the rest of our friggin' broadcasting lives. It's only a matter of time before high school kids are getting that money.
They're getting it out.
They're sitting out playing the playoffs or state championships. Yeah. They don't want to get hurt.
It's starting already.
Money back. It's already going.
It's already starting, because look at the early grad. The early grad kid is already enrolled at Oregon, by the way. Yep. And before Oregon plays in the college playoff, and guess what he did before the fucking playoff even started? He transferred already.
That's
he
what
already left and went to Cal. He ain't even played a game yet.
Right. He walked. And you know what else? It's coming down the pike. The days when you sit out the Aloha Bowl or a bowl game, that mid-December bowl is one thing, because you're going to be the first pick of the draft. You know what's coming? You're in the Final Four, and a guy's going to be the first pick of the draft. He sits out when you're playing for the college national champion. That's not the way this was designed to be. Go get yours, but we got to do it. We got to legislate. It's a slippery slope, and the slope is slippery going downhill, not trudging back uphill to fix it. JB, great stuff today, man. Great stuff today. And there's always something to talk about. Baseball right around the corner, and obviously the big money. Congratulations to Jamar Chase and Higgins to get theirs in Cincinnati. But Cincinnati, you better find defensive players, or Lamar's going to throw a party on you. You better get this done. You better get it done fast. This is Unpaved for JB and Triple E. Laura Palmisano behind the scenes, 1 o'clock Eastern every single day, Monday through Friday, right here. There's our superstar in Triple E and getting all this done. And I appreciate you, JB. Good stuff here on Unpaved. We'll be back at it doing it again tomorrow, man. Thank you, guys. We always appreciate these live views. Tell your friends about it. If you want it raw and you want it unapologetic, and quite frankly, if you want it the way it's supposed to be and that's authentic, I don't know where else you're going to get it without somebody telling you what you have to say. That ain't happening here. It is Unpaved. I'm Sean. We'll see you guys tomorrow.